And the first news that I want to share with you is that according to RIA Novosti and many other media outlets here in Russia, air defense systems on duty intercepted 48 Ukrainian drones last night that were launched by Kiev regime with assistance of NATO to strike deep into Russian territory. No reports for this moment about casualties on the ground or more or less significant damage. If any update on that, of course, I will share additional information on my Telegram and Twitter X pages. Also, interesting news that somewhat connected, obviously, with Russia too, that head of Western-backed terrorist regime in Kiev, Zelensky, left G7 summit in Canada early, as Trump did, by the way, although Trump left much earlier. And, well, according to Western media, Suspline, for example, and many others reported that this trip to Canada was quite disappointing for Zelensky and his globalist backers because somehow they managed to fail in reaching agreement on additional $40 billion for a Kiev regime. Zelensky was hoping that he will receive guarantees about this 40 billion. He was probably counting a number of new mansions and number of new companies that he gonna buy somewhere. And well, he failed on that. There was no concrete promises given to Zelensky about $40 billion that he was expecting for this year alone, by the way. I mean, appetite of this Western-backed terrorist regime is tremendous, right? RT is also reporting that North Korea plans to send its military personnel to Russia. According to senior Russian official, some 6,000 troops from North Korea will assist in the mining and rebuilding Kursk region of the Russian Federation after this Kursk salient was liberated from invading forces of Kiev regime and NATO mercenaries. This information was shared with public by Secretary of their Security Council of the Russian Federation, Sergei Shoigu. I remind you, dear friends, that he was in North Korea yesterday or day before yesterday. And well, this is the information that come out from that after that trip. Although there are some speculations on the internet that maybe some additional topics were discussed during the meeting of Shoigu with the leadership of North Korea, not just in connection with their bilateral relationships, but potentially even in regards to developments in the Middle East. Although, obviously, we're not going to know details of the talks. But what is known now that 6,000 North Korean troops will come to Russia, and a number of them will participate in the mining process in the Kursk region, and part of this group will participate in reconstruction works. Also, RIA Novosti is reporting that yet another drone attack had happened on a Russian mission in Europe, in European country. So in Sweden, by the way, drone dropped a paint on the area in the front of the central entrance of the Russian trade mission. The embassy reported on its Telegram channel. And well, one might say, you know what, it's just a painter, nothing extraordinary. But no, dear friends, this is a very serious matter, because today these extremists and the terrorists are dropping paint on diplomatic missions of the Russian Federation, trade missions, and so on. Tomorrow they might start dropping Molotov cocktails from the very same drones. And unfortunately, this is not the first such an incident in Sweden, for example, and Swedish authorities clearly are doing literally nothing to prevent these terrorist attacks on Russian missions. And that's why, this is one of the reasons why I am saying that maybe it will work if Russia will, it will be right move if Russia will cut diplomatic ties with the majority of European states, a vast majority of them, and withdraw diplomats and their families until it's not too late. Anyways, there is nothing to talk with countries like Sweden and Germany and UK and France and the rest of them, right? There is currently leadership of those countries is so extreme and so anti-Russian that literally there is nothing to talk with them. And it does make a great deal of sense to me personally if Russia will cut diplomatic ties with these non-entities and will withdraw Russian diplomats. And one may say, you know what, well, people need to have a communication and their visas need to be issued and stuff. Yes, and Russia can increase their diplomatic mission in Serbia, for example, Central Europe, by the way. And whoever wants to travel to Russia and receive visas, they can use internet platforms for that Russia has created, or visit embassy in Serbia. It will be much less costly for Russia, right? Anyways, I think this is definitely information that worth paying attention to. And who knows, maybe Russian leadership actually is considering to minimize at least Russian diplomatic representation in this extremely hostile European or the Western states. TASS news agency is also reporting that, well, on the very topic of some extremists and extreme Russophobes in the leadership of Western countries, UK, by the way, expands anti-Russian sanctions by 10 additional positions. 10 companies and individuals linked to Russia, as well as 20 oil tankers, have been included in a new package of UK sanctions. This is stated in a document distributed by the UK Foreign Office. And by the way, of course, literally nobody in Russia cares about London's sanctions. They can try as much as they want to jump out of socks. We just don't care. But fact itself demonstrates, isn't it, attitude. And you tell me if you see any reasoning why should Russia have any embassy or diplomatic ties with this kingdom. It's not even democracy, by the way. They love to talk about democracy. They are freaking kingdom, right? Anyways, let's continue. And RIA Novosti is also reporting that trade turnover between Russia and the EU has reached its lowest level in 25 years. And you know what? I applaud this information, by the way. I think this is good. Russia should, and Russian economy should diversify, absolutely. And to be more precise, I mean, hopefully more and more Russian businesses will move their attention from Europe towards the rest of the world, because the world is huge, right? And there is a lot of opportunities elsewhere, and the lesser ties we will have economically or otherwise with Europe or the Western world, the better, with the exception of humanitarian contacts, obviously. People should have communication. People should never consider each other as enemy. That this was and is and will be my position always. But when it comes to state relationships and economical relationships, European countries proved time and again that they are not serious partners and cannot be serious partners, cannot be trusted. And I don't know how many times they're gonna basically strike on Russia in the back, so that Moscow and Russian elites will finally realizing that, yes, I mean, Russia should stay away. It's a best way to go forward. So yes, I think this is a really good news, right? Because world is huge and there is a lot of opportunities elsewhere. Trade between Russia and Europe, European Union, fell below 5 billion euros in April, becoming the lowest since 1999, according to RIA Novosti's calculation based on Eurostat data. Russian exports fell in mid-spring to 2.15 billion euros from 2.6 billion a month earlier. At the same time, deliveries of European products to Russia fell by 7%, amounting to 2.6 billion euros. I mean, yes, it's still billions, by the way. It's still billions, and they're on a year-on-year term. Eventually, I mean, these numbers might reach 40, 50, maybe even more billions, but it's good that Russian economy, Russian businesses are diversifying and moving away from West, from their Europe in this particular case, because they cannot be trusted, period. They proved time and again that they are not reliable business partners. And how many times they're going to prove it, right? And also, I think this is very important news too, that are related to Russia and the rest of the world also. TASS news agency and many other media outlets are reporting that St. Petersburg's International Economic Forum is opening its doors today. It's starting, and this forum will last from 18th to 21st of June. According to reports that I see, delegations from 140 countries will participate in this forum, even from the Western world, by the way. Although, obviously, interest towards St. Petersburg Economical Forum is increasing year-on-year terms in wider world, and I believe contracts between Russian companies and companies or businesses from Global South, from Africa, from South America, North America, I mean, contracts for potentially tens of billions of dollars will be signed during this economical forum. Mark my words, dear friends, in a couple of days' time, I will share with you information that will be available about results of this forum, sir. Good news for sure. Humanity is managing step by step. It's a slow process, but humanity is clearly moving in the right direction, and they're isolating collective West that is run by extremists and all sorts of criminals. And as I said, humanitarian activity should be in place, and the public in the Western countries should have opportunity to communicate with the rest of the world, obviously, and to migrate if they want to. I would actually recommend to do so, because I mean, Western world is doomed, by the way. I mean, give it another 20, 30 years, and Western world going to be in a position in which so-called third world is, right? And Western elites love to brag about, that they are garden and there is a third world out there somewhere, right? Well, that's the destiny of the Western world, especially Europe, by the way, which is completely doomed. And if I was living in EU member states or in UK, I would definitely, for sake of my family, for sake of my kids and their kids, I would definitely consider moving elsewhere, because there is no way, not a slight chance, that locals in Western countries will manage to reclaim their own countries. It's just not happening, by the way, not possible, even on a theoretical level, no matter how many calculations you're going to do. And therefore, only way forward is to just migrate in a country that is that those people have some sympathies to, right? Could be Russia, could be, I don't know, Brazil, could be China, could be India, I don't know. But if I was in Europe, I would definitely migrate to Russia. 100%, by the way. Hello everyone, I hope you find informative and useful this short clip from main news update, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. It might help to deal with the algorithm and reach wider audience. And if you like my work in general and want to support to save this media project, you can assist through several ways. You can donate to this project through PayPal platform or Boosty, also with crypto currencies, or you can subscribe to my Patreon page and page on Boosty, where I have quite a lot of extra content on regular basis. All the links are on this video in description box and in the pinned comment. And of course, many thanks to everyone who already helped and continues to support. Thank you.